Okay, so today it's just Nick and myself.
Hi-yo.
Jerome reached out to us and let us know that he wasn't able to make it, which also means by default Hegan wasn't able to make it. Leaving Nick and myself to fend for ourselves?
Our own devices.
Our own devices, thank you very much. We figured this is a great opportunity to take the time to put together another DM versus DM. And Nick said that he had a desire to talk about specifically diving into campaigns. We're going to talk today a little bit about some upcoming campaigns that we're planning. We're going to talk about some of the pending campaigns that we're looking to even much further out. And depending on time, we might even talk about some of the previous campaigns that we've run before and during the time that we've been broadcasting or recording our podcast. So let's get into it. First off, on the top of the list, upcoming campaigns. Number 1, right out of the gate, Candlekeep.
Mm-hmm. So Candlekeep. So I know we talked about the Avowed.
And we've talked about there's a group that runs Candlekeep.
Mm-hmm.
They're called the Avowed. They're like a monastic group of individuals. That doesn't necessarily mean they're the monk class, but monastic from the standpoint of they're monk-like. They could be clerics, they could be monks, they could be wizards, they could be scribes. These are people who have given up all their worldly possessions and gone through a process to become a member of the Avowed to help run Candlekeep.
Let's see if I can find this really quick.
So what specifically about Candlekeep did you want to talk about? And let me back that up. The campaign's called, and it's not really a campaign, but we can go into that. The book is called Candlekeep Mysteries.
Mm-hmm. A bunch of different stories. How many were there?
I believe somewhere around 16.
16 stories.
Yes.
I guess one would be the character creation.
Well, before we talk about character creation, shouldn't we talk about the idea for the campaign?
Yeah. So like how we're gonna bring all 16 of these stories and combine them into one long story.
Correct. So the book, Candlekeep Mysteries, is basically kind of like 16 different modules.
Mm-hmm.
They are put in the book in an order of based off of level. So as you progress through each of these, technically your character should be at a certain level to be able to go through a particular one. I believe the intent of the book, the creators of this at Wizards of the Coast, their intent was that you could be running a campaign, and then if you, the DM, were looking for something to add that was Candlekeep-like, that you could dive into this book and pull out one of 16 modules. However, you and I have looked at it, and I believe we're in agreement that the plan is to run it like a campaign.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I like about this idea is that Candlekeep Mysteries is not, unlike some of our other campaigns, there's not this end of the world, saving an entire city or saving life itself pressure. It's from a standpoint, if we turn it into a campaign, it's a little more laid back. Each module within the book obviously has some kind of point. There is an antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
There's some investigation that needs to go on. But at the end, it's almost episodical. Once that's resolved, once that module is resolved, it's at a complete and total end. And then the next module can be taken completely on its own with very little tie to the previous one. The idea that you and I talked about was creating, rather than doing this module by module, building it and putting it into one overarching campaign, putting together a group of Avowed hand chosen, selected, small group of individuals, with the idea that the Avowed have dealt with situations, things have come up where they've leaned on adventurers in the past with mixed results.
Right.
And that this small elite group of Avowed is going to take more of that role on rather than leaning on adventurers, with the intent of, if there is a book involved, doing a better job of protecting that book.
Right.
Bringing it back in one piece, if that's the situation, or whatever investigation needs to be done for the betterment of Candlekeep. And because there's two of us, the plan of the both of us DMing this, I believe you've taken
the odd numbers
and I've taken the even numbers. And I'm only reading the even numbers of modules within the book, so that when you run the odds, I, like any other adventurer, will be like, I don't know what's going on. I need to figure it out. And vice versa.
Yep. So is there going to be, I mean, we're going to, of course, have, I think, is there like 1 to 3? But the people that are handing out these quests for you to take, to go find this certain object or go research this, and
you and I have talked about a possibility of an individual who is high up within the rank of the Avowed, not the highest rank, but somewhere in the higher ranks. He's actually the guy who's come up with this idea of creating this hand-picked elite squad. He won't be a member. He won't be out on the adventure. And I'm sure there's a name. I'm in Charlie's Angels. What is that guy's name?
Bosley?
Yeah, he'd be like a Bosley.
No.
Right? So Bosley, when we come back, will give us a pat on the head or a pat on the back, tell us we did a good job, and then the curtain will close. But then the next episode, the curtain will reopen. It'll be another episode, and Bosley will be pulling us into a room and explaining to us what the problem is and setting us on a course of the next adventure. Now, you and I kind of roughly have an idea as to what this Bosley looks like. We probably should, sit down and spend some time to really write it out and flesh him out.
Right. Holy crap. Because who did I say that we should kind of go after? It was
you came up with an idea for a voice that we could do.
I'm trying to remember who I got it from.
So of course I've completely forgotten, which is my bad.
No, you're good.
My memory is shit.
Mine's getting there. Let's see. So I know I went off of a certain movie, a certain character. I'm trying to remember who it was.
It was going to be a slower, kind of methodical voice, deeper, calm.
Yeah, he's been doing this for so long.
Right.
Holy crap.
Well, you think about that.
I will.
Put your brain to that. So that kind of sets the stage. Sets the stage for the campaign. Sets the stage for the Bosley-like person that helps launch each of these missions. Then you wanted to talk a little bit about character concept.
Yeah.
So let's hear about your character concept to start.
So my character, as always, I'm going to be playing a dwarf.
Of course.
But he's going to be an artificer.
What kind of artificer?
I believe that was the alchemy.
Oh, yeah.
The alchemy one.
Yeah.
Because not like I'm totally against it, but like putting guns into D&D.
That is definitely something that's hotly debated online. I've seen many conversations around whether guns should be allowed in a D&D campaign. I will, since you brought it up, I will throw my 2 cents in.
Go for it.
As long as the players and the DM are cool with it, there's no reason why you shouldn't. There is no problem, in my humble opinion, that could be created by the use of guns in a campaign that cannot be overcome. Giving an example. Let's say the gun is an Arbicus, a very powerful one-shot hand cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say the damage it deals is 1d12. I'm making stuff up, right? But it's going to take several rounds to reload. If I remember correctly, an Arbicus can take up to, realistically, 60 seconds to reload. That's 10 rounds in D&D terms. A trained soldier could probably do it in 30. So you're still looking at 5 rounds. What that's going to do is A, it's going to allow a player character to be able to bring something into the game.
Mm-hmm.
It could be kind of powerful, but they're only going to use it one round. They're going to shoot that gun. They're going to put it away, drop it, sling it, something, and then they're going to draw some other weapon.
Right. Or another gun.
That's a possibility. But how many guns are they going to be carrying around? I'm carrying around 10 arquebuses. I don't think so. And if a player character wants to, not that I would be a jackass to player characters, but if I had to, if my hand was forced, if they were totally abusing guns, there is nothing like a good fireball hitting your stash of gunpowder to change your mind.
Right. No, I totally agree with that.
It is a problem that is 1 inch tall. From a DM standpoint, it is not that big of an issue to overcome. Now, I'm not saying that I'm that kind of jerk of a DM, but I could be.
Mm-hmm. So basically, I can be that jerk of a DM, but I'll use it responsibly.
Fair enough. Yes. I try to use my jerkiness responsibly. Yes. Absolutely.
Oh, hell. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, you giving me a new point of view. Like, if a player is abusing it and everything like that, yeah, I am going to mess up your day and everything like that. And I will make sure that you will not want to use or abuse.
The right answer really is, my assholeness aside, the right answer really is, before a DM is an asshole, it's communication.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mr. Player, I think you're abusing this. Here's why. Let's come up with some alternatives so that you're not, that you can still play and have fun with the characters you want, but you're not abusing and upsetting the balance of the game.
Right.
And then if they insist on continuing, that's when you fuck shit up.
Yeah.
But the right answer is, for us, our table, our group of friends, we're talking a non-issue.
No.
That's not going to be a problem.
True.
There aren't any assholes at this table. We're not asshole-ish to each other. How's that? Okay, jeez. We're not in that way.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It's a table full of assholes, and we're completely assholes to each other, but not in that way.
It's a fun way.
If you all could see the looks that Nick was giving me as these words were coming out of my mouth, this look of, really? Really?
I'm pretty sure you're wrong.
I'm pretty sure you're wrong. I'm pretty sure you're an asshole.
I mean, how many of your campaigns have I gone through so far?
Let's see. The first one you started on was Storm King's Thunder.
No.
No.
Tomb of Annihilation.
Yeah, yep, you're right. Descent into Avernus.
So it was
Saltmarsh,
Descent into Avernus,
Dragon Heist, Mad Mage,
partially.
We haven't even stuff out we haven't encountered, right?
Yeah.
So I got to go back. Tomb of Annihilation.
Tomb of Annihilation.
That was the first one.
That was the first.
Was Saltmarsh next?
So
I think Saltmarsh was next.
Would it help if we actually like pick where the locations were? Because I know we were at Rome's, and then we went to my mom's shop.
Yes.
From there, I think we were doing... Shit, what were we doing?
We were either doing Tomb of Annihilation or...
No, we finished Tomb of Annihilation at Rome's.
At Rome's?
Yeah.
It had to have been Saltmarsh.
I think we were doing Saltmarsh there.
Right.
And everything like that. So yeah, we were doing Saltmarsh. I think we were still doing Saltmarsh. Or was it Dragon Heist? Oh, for fuck's sake.
Somewhere around Dragon Heist, we moved here.
Right.
Right, so we got Dragon Heist.
Yep.
Tomb of Annihilation, Saltmarsh, Dragon Heist. Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Yep. And then I think after that we did Descent in
Avernus. And now Tomb of Annihilation Part 2.
Uh-huh.
So that's...
And Icewind Dale, which I am DMing.
Right, so we're now on your 7th campaign?
Yeah. But this wasn't about me. This was about your assholeness.
True.
So I have been through quite a few. And I think I have where the pin hits the wall there.
Of where
the dart hits the bullseye.
Where I am an asshole?
Where the shit sticks to the wall.
Wow. Jeez. What the hell are you getting at, man? What are you trying to say?
I've seen it. And I mean, you can see it in the Tomb of Annihilation 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The monsters that you are picking are holy shit.
Yeah, good times.
But the thing is that it's not like we can't defeat them, but they are definitely harder.
Yes.
And you've made it that way, and it's good.
Intentionally so, yes.
Yeah. Intentional assholeness. Of course, I say this all in fun.
Yes, I know. Yes, I get it. All right. We forgot there actually is one other campaign.
Oh yeah, what was that?
The Rick and Morty D&D campaign.
Oh, Shiza. My first DM experience with this group was Rick and Morty.
Yep.
D&D campaign, and it was hilarious.
It was a lot of fun.
I truly wish we would have captured all that in a podcast.
It was before we did podcasting. What was really funny? I mean, there was a lot of funny things about it, but what nobody can hear, because we didn't record it, is there were all these little box texts in the book that you would try to read.
Mm-hmm.
We would have to sit there and wait before you would actually finish reading the box text because you were laughing so hard and continuously. It was like every time we went to a new room and you had to read a box text, we would all sit there like patiently waiting for the details as you're just over there like
especially with the butt monument.
The butt
where if you guys walked up and touched it, it like literally made your ass disappear.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, I'm pretty sure there has to be people out there that have played it. It's been out for a while.
Has been out there for a while.
And then Tommy Two Butts. And then you guys went on a full-on quest to try. I forget whose ass was the one that
it was mine. It was mine, asshole. I lost my ass.
On a full quest to try and get your ass.
That's right. There was a full-on quest just to get my ass back.
And the funny thing is I think that all you guys had to do was destroy it.
Destroy the big butt.
And then your ass would have returned.
Not only that, not only did I lose my butt, but you and the rest of the players were ruthless to me because I was playing Jerry. I was playing the dad.
You gotta have to,
right? It goes with the role, right? And I really actually enjoyed playing that character
because he was
Was like a wizard or something?
Yeah, I think he was the wizard. Yeah. Rome's was the rogue. He was also the rogue who was also a half ogre, who was also Morty.
Yes.
And then I forget who was playing Summer. Was that nobody was playing Summer?
I don't remember. I don't remember who was playing that.
I forget who Hegan's character was. And then there was a character that you don't even see in the story.
Right.
Or any of the episodes, and that was funny.
Casey played with us too, didn't she?
I don't think she did. We had He Who Shall Not Be Named.
Was Jeremy with us?
No, it was just me, you, Rome's, Hegan, and then Jackwagon.
Gotcha.
But
anyway, that was another campaign we did.
That was a fun one.
So back to bringing it all back. Your character is going to be a dwarf, artificer, alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
The door is open if you don't want to be an alchemist.
I think he actually fits.
Yeah,
and everything like that. I mean, it's decent support. Damage is all right, and everything like that. The fact that I have knowledge and everything like that, and of course on this, and I want to be my character. I want him to be on the search for knowledge,
right,
and everything like that. I think he would be quite all right. I mean, he would fit into the campaign.
Yeah, it fits the theme of what we're trying to do. Yes.
So I'm not, making another dwarf barbarian or another dwarf cleric.
Just a dwarf artificer.
just a dwarf artificer.
Yeah.
Switching that up. And I mean, so far, I got him to where he's his backstory's pretty good.
You were already working on backstory?
Yeah.
Son of a... God damn it.
Well, you're still working on your
I still
character.
haven't even landed on what my character concept's going to be.
I don't know. I mean, you seem like you want to be that turtle. Let's be honest. I mean, that Warforged, you already have somewhat of a backstory for that, Yeah,
the Warforged.
The artificer...
Yes.
Repaired you and, brought you back.
All right. So just to clarify for the listener, right? Idea number one for me would be, I don't even like the term Warforged because it's very
abomination. Gotcha.
Or abomination. More like a gear forged. Same thing, just a different name, right? That your artificer actually dug up from some kind of ancient Netherese site.
Mm-hmm.
Complete loss of memory. Doesn't remember who it's how was it originally created, what its original purpose was. It's almost childlike in its knowledge of the world, and it's kind of clamped onto you, almost like a father figure to kind of go through and figure out what's going on.
Uh-huh.
What that character allows me to do is, based off of some of the other characters, which we'll talk about, Jerome character and Hegan's character, it'll allow me to multi-class to kind of fill in some holes.
Yeah, I think that's a cool part of that backstory is yours, is that I found multiple parts. So it could be varied from, different types of these gear forged, so you're able to multi-class into these different things.
Exactly. Yes.
I thought that was a pretty good one. But of course, your other two are really good too. But in the end, it comes down to what you want.
I know that's the problem. I can't be decisive. The problem I'm having is there's a term for it where one is stuck because they have too many choices.
Right.
It's kind of like paralysis through analysis, but this is more like paralysis through choice.
Mm-hmm.
Another idea that I think would be really good for this campaign is another warlock, but this time Tome, Pact of the Tome. I think it fits really great with this campaign, where I would kind of change it up, change the subclass kind of concept up, is that this tome, at least the character believes that the tome is talking to them. Mm-hmm. It's a two-way conversation, but only the character can hear it. Nobody else can hear the tome talk.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always this underlying question with the rest of the party, whether the warlock in this case is getting their power from the tome or if it's just a conduit for something darker, unknown. Right? And I thought that was, and they're carrying this, tome of a book around with them everywhere they go.
Oh, yeah.
Where they eat, where they sleep, where they shit. That's where they take this tome with them. The last one is that turtle. What was the class?
I think you were going for... I mean, you said barbarian, but I know you said something else.
I said something else. I said barbarian earlier this week just because I thought... I had envisioned in my head this, 7-foot tall, 500-pound, behemoth, beefy turtle. But to be honest with you, that doesn't really fit the campaign.
Right.
But, the turtle I think I had in mind was... what class? It wasn't druid. It wasn't monk.
Well, maybe cleric?
Maybe cleric or wizard. Right? That sounds about right. What was that turtle character from...
Oogway?
Oogway. An Oogway kind of turtle is kind of the basis of that. Even though Oogway is more of a monk, right? The reason I'm not going in that direction is because Jerome is going to do a monk.
Monkey monk.
Right, which is cool. Right? It'll be his first time. Most of us first time playing a monk. And then Hegan is going to be playing the tanky fighter type, which we'll have to sit down with Hegan and try to figure out some kind of decent backstory. I have some ideas, but we need to talk to him and see what he's comfortable with. And I think that's the group right there. Right?
Though I don't know what their races are.
Yeah.
I imagine Rome's is probably going to pick some sort of elven monk.
He's going to be either elven or human.
Elven or
and
human.
I got to imagine.
I imagine you could probably even do half elf.
Or half elf.
Yeah.
Which is half of a human or half. Yeah.
The in between.
Yeah. And I think Hegan will go the same route. I could be wrong, but that would be my guess.
Generally how it goes.
Generally, yes.
Generally. So hopefully, it seems like a good lineup. First time artificer for me. And then...
I think it's the first time of an artificer in this group as a whole.
Yep.
Right?
Because I know Rome has thought about making one.
Yeah.
And everything like that. I don't know if you have...
Oh, I've thought about it.
You thought about it.
I think about a lot of stuff.
I'm pretty sure. What the fuck?
Yeah, I hear him. I don't know what their malfunction is.
Douchebag. But, I'm excited to do one. I even have a miniature all painted up, ready to go.
Get the hell out of town. You suck.
Well, I mean, try and find yourself a little robotic one.
I haven't even thought that far ahead. Oh my god.
Well, I guess it just means that I'm excited about this campaign.
That's fair. But you're making me look bad. That's why I'm complaining.
Your fault, not mine.
That's right. You got your shit together and I don't. I'm usually the one who has his shit together. I do not have my shit together. I am the Brian Greasy at the moment.
Butterfingers.
Feel free to Google that.
Oh, hell.
So, Candlekeep aside, unless there's something else you want to talk about there.
I think I'm good on Candlekeep.
And keeping in mind, when we kick off Candlekeep, it's going to be after the end of our 2 existing campaigns.
Right.
Right, that's the end of Tomb of Annihilation Part 2, or after the Tomb of Annihilation, and your campaign, Rime of the Frostmaiden. When those 2 campaigns come to a conclusion, that's when we'll kick off the Candlekeep Mysteries.
Right.
However, as a special bonus, Candlekeep Mysteries will be 1 week, and then on the alternate week, we are going to be playing Adventures in Middle-earth.
Oh, yeah.
And Jerome is going to be a first-time DM for that campaign. meaning that you and I will both be able to play. I believe we're both playing elves.
So you're playing the full-blood elf.
Yes.
I am playing a Dunedain.
Yes.
So I'm
an elf from Mirkwood.
Yep. And I am a Dunedain from the north.
I believe we're both wanderers.
We are both wanderers.
Yes.
I think the difference is that you're more bow prone, where I am going to be more sword. But of course, both of them are very versatile, so they both use either or, depending on whatever the situation is.
That is correct.
So
the other really interesting part of this campaign. So Adventures in Middle-earth is 5th edition compatible.
Right.
There are some minor changes to it.
Yep.
One of the big changes, as far as I can tell, is the downtime piece that happens in between certain segments of the campaign. There's very specific rules and things that have to happen.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of the campaign, also, in addition to that, there are roles. And then we're not talking about class. We're talking roles that are determined, that help kind of determine what's going to happen as the campaign goes.
Yep.
An example of a role would be your the person who's determining the route.
Right.
Another role would be the person who is foraging for food.
Yep.
All right. All of these play a part on these tables, these additional tables, as to how the campaign progresses, what kind of benefits and adversities happen. The other big thing is there's no cleric.
Yep. There is no cleric.
There's no
mage. Yep. There's no magic. Well, I mean, there's magic, but nobody in the party can use it.
Right. It's a campaign with very low magic.
Yeah. I'm pretty actually like you can't even create a wizard or anything like that, like what you would see like Gandalf, because they already have a set amount of people that are in Middle Earth that are capable of using that magic.
Right. And player characters. Yeah, as far as the rules are concerned,
you're basically looking at range and then melee, and that's about it.
Yep.
When it comes to healing, you're relying on medicine, and then aid. Rest.
Yes, rest, first aid.
Yep.
Hit dice. I believe you can spend hit dice on your short and long rests.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, the short and long rests, you do use your hit dice.
Yep. I'm looking forward to this campaign. In our group of friends, nobody knows Middle-earth lore better than Jerome.
Right.
He will talk your ear off and just go on a tear to talk about stuff you didn't even know or kind of knew. Mm-hmm. He knows the deets very well.
Oh, yeah.
He loves it.
Huh. And the other cool thing is I know that this group often has a hard time with, like, etiquette. So, it's just like, me as a dwarf, it's just like I see royalty and everything like that. I still go the dwarven route, like, what up, bitch? That kind of attitude. Right. But in Middle Earth, you cannot do that.
Right.
You have to be that respectful. You have to choose your words and everything like that. Oh, and on top of that, there's a thing that's called corruption. Yes. Which also gives you shadow points.
That's right. I forgot about the corruption.
And if you get past that threshold of shadow points, you basically, the DM just goes, "Give me your character sheet," and you
can't have my character sheet, precious.
Precious. So juicy, sweet, I love to eat.
Yeah, sure. When your character finally becomes cool.
Yep.
With all that taint and corruption, then the DM it's no fun.
Yeah, it takes it, and that becomes one of his NPCs of darkness, and it is. Yeah, and then you got to roll up another character.
It sounds kind of cool though to end up being like the mouth of Sauron or some shit. Just saying.
I would not want to be wearing that getup though.
Yeah, no.
Just a mouth flapping around.
He had to have been able to see somehow though. I don't know how.
I mean, how the hell did Sauron ever look through that fucking helmet?
Right.
fucking two little eye holes, and they seem to be like up here, not down here.
Right.
I mean, how long is his flipping head?
Good point. All right, so those are the two upcoming campaigns.
Right.
Those are in the hopper. They're being worked on.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on Candlekeep. Jerome is working really hard on Middle Earth.
Mm-hmm.
You also wanted to talk about really like a far sight down the road campaign, pending, sitting on the shelf, collecting dust, but at some point it's going to get pulled down and thrown on the table. What campaign out of the list? Should I go down the list?
You don't have to. I already know which one it is.
I'm dying to hear which one it is.
Well, I'm pretty sure you already know, but it is. I want to see Descent and Avernus Part 2. I would like, again, Dwarf, Barbarian, who is a Celestial. I would like him to return. I loved playing that character. I also loved role-playing with Jerome's character. That campaign, by far, and all of them have been good, but that one has been my favorite.
From a DM perspective, that one was also my favorite.
Oh, I can imagine it was fun. It seems like it was fun for you to run.
Yes.
And everything like that.
Very
now, you get to run. Spoiler, but you get to run around in these freaking hell machines.
Yeah. Right.
And I swear I was a fucking badass at controlling that damn thing. Well, everybody else is using the ballista and everything like that. But, I mean, those battles were fun. And everything like that. Going through
Avernus.
Yeah. Sorry.
Fighting the various other warlords.
Yeah, you're fighting. Well, mostly we were fighting demons, but again, we had verbally combat fucking devils who basically only wanted to make a deal with us so we can sell our souls. And, I mean, luckily me and Jerome's character are the only ones that had to sell our souls for amount of time. I think it was 2 years of service, but I mean, in Avernus, you don't know how long that is.
Right. Yeah. Time's a bitch there. Isn't it?
But luckily it wasn't to a demon that I know of so far.
I don't know. I'm just the DM.
But a traveling circus. Emporium.
So the owner of the Emporium is Mahadi.
Yeah.
And basically for a bag of beans, you guys traded 2 years of your life. You didn't actually sell your soul.
No.
But 2 years of your life.
For the freedom of a succubus.
Right.
And that was for Rome.
Yes.
But since my dwarf is so loyal to his friend.
Correct.
That he decided to also offer up so that he did not have to stay down here alone. But of course, everybody else in the party decided, nope. I'm not selling my life for the 2 years of my life down here.
The two other characters basically said, peace out, and then rode El Terrell back to the prime material plane, leaving the two of you behind. And that was the end of the campaign.
That was the end of that campaign.
They're all riding this big chunk of earth out of Avernus. Peace out, bitches.
Yep, right out of the river Styx.
Right out of the river Styx.
But man, just with how much knowledge we came back from that. I mean, flipping Tiamat has her little mountain with I guess, I don't know what type of skull that is. I don't know if that's dragon or not.
That would be definitely a dragon skull.
Dragon skull. Okay, from here it looks like a bowl.
That's because you're old and blind.
Ah, shit. But I mean, we got to see or meet a character. I mean, I didn't know him, but apparently, these D&D veterans did. The dude with the hand, Arcane the Cruel.
Arcane the Cruel.
Yes,
he is Joe. I'm gonna butcher his last name, but Joe Maggiano. Famous actor, director, writer. He has his own D&D campaign. A bunch of celebrities play with him. I'm the only person who doesn't know what I'm talking about is Nick here.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else who's listening to this is nodding their head going, I know exactly what you're talking about. His character, his player character, one of them, got a role within that campaign, Descendant into Avernus. And I even bought the miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
His character is completely badass. The hand that Nick is referring to, I'm not sure if you guys ever figured out what was going on with the hand.
I don't think it was because we weren't able to ask.
Yeah, so I guess I can't say anything.
Yep.
Don't want to ruin that.
No, you don't. That's a good one.
That's another spoiler alert right there.
Yeah. Yep. And then a glowing ball with a unicorn in it.
Yes, the Demon Zapper.
Yep.
It's basically this thing was created with the intent that if demons came within a radius area of it, it would zap them, basically due to an imprisoned unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like a bug zapper, but for demons.
Yep. And then we got to see an Imperium. I believe that's what that race is.
Yeah. Yeah. You did see an Imperium.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if race is it's almost like an kind of like an angelic being.
Yeah.
But freaking huge. A big freaking huge guy.
Huge.
Oh,
freaking huge. And then, of course, Maggie and all her red caps.
Mad Maggie, the hag, and her two different types of...
Oh, yeah, red and green.
She had red caps and mad caps.
Oh, mad caps. That's what they were called.
Yes.
But they were green because of what they dipped it in, what was it, demon ichor?
They dipped their hats into demon ichor. Which is why they were mad caps and not just red caps. Red caps are these psychotic, murderous, evil little bastards. And they dip their hats in red blood. And that's why they're called red caps. Take that idea, that insane idea, and then turn it up a notch and dip that hat in some demon ichor and watch what happens. Those dudes were hilarious.
And then I take it was a walking flesh golem.
She made a flesh golem, but they were made out of demon parts.
Mm-hmm.
So it was this, you want to talk about an abomination. That's an abomination, right? This is a flesh golem made from the flesh of demons. Insane. Just absolutely crazy.
Mikey.
His name was freaking Mikey.
Doing the Mikey.
Yeah, I tried to sell this concept to you guys hard. I did it over and over again, and it just kept going right over the top of your guys' head. So Mikey would walk around with a limp, and the mad caps and the red caps would follow behind him, mocking him and bullying him and say, "We're doing the Mikey," and they would do that same limp all the time. And the idea was, there were in that part of the campaign, which was in Fort Knucklebone or Fort Knuckle, there were a variety of opportunities laid out for the characters to do something or things, a variety of things. And depending on how the characters reacted and handled it, it was like a point system. If the characters did this, they would garner, from the DM's perspective, behind the DM wall on the paper, different amount of points. And the more points they had towards the end would change how Mad Maggie saw them and how she treated with them. So more points meant better. One way of gaining points was to find out the reason Mikey was limping is because he had some kind of like spike or burr or something up under his foot. And then so if you were actually able to help Mikey by removing it, kind of like that whole parable of removing the thorn from the lion's paw, same concept. There you would gain points. But you could also potentially lose points because then the red caps and mad caps wouldn't be able to mock Mikey. So there was definitely a balance there. Right? Not everything was always a win. Some things were a win-lose. Some things were a lose-lose. But in the end, you guys definitely garnered way more than enough points to put yourselves in a good light as far as Mad Maggie was concerned. And that's why she was able to give you one of her broken down war machines and then let you guys go tear holy hell across Avernus with it.
No, man, did we?
Oh, yes, you did.
Granted, it seems like there was a lot of points that we didn't go to, but I think it's because we were still a little bit frightened.
Well, so the campaign, we talked about this when we started the campaign. The campaign starts out very railroady, very heavy-handed. Right out of the gate, the player characters are forced to work for the Flaming Fist. You're, for a lack of a better term, you're shanghaied.
Yep.
When eventually you go through all that whole part of the campaign, it all happens within Baldur's Gate. Well, not all of it, but the vast majority of it goes to Baldur's Gate. Then eventually you end up to Candle Keep. You find some information as how to get to Avernus, and that's when you end up at Avernus. In Avernus, you start out in the city of El Terrell, which got sucked into Avernus. You do your thing there. And then when you finally make it to the surface Avernus, you climb down the chains that are dragging El Terrell, and you make it down to the surface. And you make it out of... You go to Fort Knucklebone, and you make it out of Fort Knucklebone. That's when the campaign just kind of opens up. There are multiple paths that are kind of open before the player characters. And so, based off of your decision, you decided to go down a certain path. And you did. Because I thought some of the other items on the other paths were just cool and interesting, I would kind of lay them out there for you, just in such a way where it didn't like derail you from the path you had chosen, but as an opportunity. And some of it you bought, some of it you didn't. I'll give you an example. One of the items that was not on the path was the whole abyssal chicken thing.
Mm-hmm. That
literally was in the book, and it was on one of the paths, but it was not on the path that you were on. But I thought the abyssal chicken thing was cool. And so when the opportunity arose, I was like, I'm fitting this in. So did you guys hit everything? No. Were you supposed to hit everything? No. There were some other things that I thought were kind of cool. There was an opportunity to actually meet Morticane.
Oh, yeah.
That was on a different path, and it didn't happen. So did it negatively impact the campaign not doing that? Hell no. The campaign went great.
Mm-hmm. Truly.
But yeah, if there were, long story short, back to the beginning of what we were saying, if there were a campaign where I would want to sit down and draw up a part 2, which I've kind of have laid out I've got an overarching outline, and then the very beginning I've got more pieces filled in, but then it just kind of, which I think is fine, because I'd like to see how you guys progress before I start filling in other pieces.
Right.
But as far as the first, I don't know, 3-4 sessions maybe, I've got it.
Sweet.
Got it. So what about you? What campaign would you want to run?
What campaign would I want to run? Well, it seems like everybody wants me to do a second part to Rick and Morty.
Yes. You should totally do a second part to Rick and Morty.
I could really, really let loose on some goofy shit.
You could totally let loose on some goofy shit.
But, I mean, I can definitely put in the work for that. That's for sure. Because I think that would be a fun one, and hopefully I can make it fun. But, I'll definitely have to go back and reference the book, because I'm pretty sure, and I don't want to end it or give spoilers, but the way now I remember how it ended and everything like that. Do you?
I think at the end we finally did run into Rick.
You did.
There was a fight.
Yep.
I think he helped us in that fight.
He did.
I can't remember what we were fighting though.
It was a green dragon that was actually embedded in the floor tile.
Yeah.
It was a picture of it. And then it came to life.
Yes.
And as it moved and everything like that, you guys saw this crater or this hole. And at the bottom of that hole was a wizard who you all recognized, and it was Rick. Seemed to be down there taking a nap.
Nice. Yes.
And then finally, after a few rounds happened and everything like that, he woke up, and then all of a sudden he got into the fight.
Right.
And started jacking up that dragon along with the rest of you.
So it wasn't like a straight up green dragon. It was a green dragon made out of tile.
Pretty much.
Yes. Okay.
Which I believe you guys put on Easy Street because one of you blinded it.
Yes.
And that blind, I guess, lasts until it made it save, but I don't think I was able to make it save.
Yeah. It's tough to be the DM.
Yeah, especially with the dice that I was rolling, because I think I was rolling, for the sake of the game, I was rolling the dice that they gave me with the edition that I got, and everything like that, and I was using those, and they were rolling like crap.
Yeah, sucks to be the DM. Tough,
but then again, as a DM, I always roll like crap, and then when I'm the player, I just, I roll pretty amazing. Probably because I don't know, certain dice that I use for certain stuff.
I'm all over the place. Some days I'm rolling for shit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm rolling to the point where I'm laughing because I'm just tearing you guys apart.
Yeah. I don't know, the last couple of sessions, man, especially when it came to Icewind Dale, and then your campaign that you're running with the Tomb of Annihilation, man, it's just, you seem to be kicking our asses pretty darn good. Was there anything else you wanted to cover? See, if I had a campaign that would come after Avernus and everything like that, I don't know. I mean, one of them, of course, I would like to do Cyberpunk.
Yes.
When we did that one little one shot and everything like that, I enjoyed that when I was playing with Casey.
Yeah.
That was really fun, and I like the combat behind it. But another one is that there's two of them that I'm really curious about here. And of course, one of them, I mean, it's a whole new world that I would have to fucking learn, of course, is Dune.
Yeah, I did pick up the it's the role-playing game Dune.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, just picked that up.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it's a whole new universe that I'd have to learn, but I think the other one would have to be, just for shits and giggles, maybe Rise of the Drow.
Yeah, so I picked up Rise of the Drow from, there's this company called AAW, and I saw these advertisements online. I believe this book has actually been out for a while, but they were advertising that they were redoing like this collector's edition, and it looked, from what I saw, it just looked amazing. It just looked badass. And in addition to the book, which I got to sit here right in front of me, which looks amazing. The art on this cover is freaking badass, and the art inside of this book, it's a beefy book. This ain't no fucking around book. I excuse my French, but they're, over 500 pages. It's insane. But they were also selling like these pawns specific to this campaign. I doubled down and got the whole thing. I have not had a chance to read through it, though.
Mm-hmm.
The list of books that I have for campaigns that we haven't even done is long.
Yeah.
At one point in time, in my weird brain, I was like, oh no, I don't have enough material. I don't have enough campaigns. What am I going to do? And that's not a problem anymore.
No, it's not.
I've got it all. I've got 2 campaigns from Cobalt Press that we haven't even run. The Scarlet Citadel and Empire of Ghouls.
Yep.
We've even done player testing on both of those, and I still haven't run them. And I got those before I got Candlekeep Mysteries.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's, we're not hurting for material. We're not hurting for campaigns. It is an interesting, in-depth, thanks to Salvatore, piece of Realm lore, or just lore. I don't even know if Realm lore is the right term. Just D&D lore there's this huge, vast wealth of information on the Drow, the matriarchy, the Loth, which is the goddess that they worship. It is a huge mine of information for DMs and player characters to kind of sift and handle and work through. What could be better than that? I have another one that's like it called, which is by Wizards of the Coast. It's that Out of the Abyss one, but we've talked about that a couple of times.
Yep.
It's on the list. It's there's this speed bump in the middle of this campaign. I've been fighting with this inside my brain for a long time now, because I've had this book. I've read it some time ago, of how do I get over that speed bump. Mm-hmm. And I think that's been kind of my hesitation to run that campaign. I think the first part of that campaign is really strong. I think the second part of the campaign could potentially be pretty good, but that's like this speed bump in between that I really think is a huge gamble, because at that point you're basically presenting this escape, this light to the player characters after they've gone through this shit storm through the first part of the campaign, and then you're basically asking them to turn around and go back. And I could absolutely see any sane, reasonable person, player character or not, go, "The fuck you say?
What?
Are you shitting me? Do you know what it took for me to get here? And you want me to turn around?
Right.
The fuck you say?" So,
what? Ooh, and there's another one too. And your kid gave me the material for it.
Curse of Strahd.
Curse of Strahd.
Yeah, so the original plan was that Casey was going to run the Curse of Strahd campaign. It was going to be her first attempt at really being a DM.
Mm-hmm. Then an alien popped out of her. A beautiful baby, but Faith, my granddaughter. So Casey actually gave, because she's out. Her hands are going to be tied for quite some time. Years, to be specific. So she gave Nick all that Curse of Strahd material. I believe there's even some post-it notes and notes in there. Oh, there's a bunch.
I kind of think that's a cool... There are two... You and I have talked about this. There's two kinds of campaigns that I believe are hard for a DM to run successfully. And Curse of Strahd falls into one of those categories. That first category is horror, right? To set the ambiance, to put words out there, to get the characters to feel like the horror that they're dealing with, the darkness, is tough. The second one is an intrigue. And I think some people are better at DMing that than others. Intrigue is tough because you're dealing with a lot of NPCs who are creating the intrigue around the player characters. And it boils down to, who really is my friend? Who is my enemy? Who can I trust? How can I handle the situation without just killing all of them? Right? How do getting the player characters to deal with the intrigue in a way that's intended to deal with intrigue. It's tough, really tough. So anyway, Curse of Strahd, would love to see you DM that, understanding that I'm basically saying I would love to see you do that, but I also understand there's this like mountain that you would have to circumvent and overcome. It's not a speed bump like this. It's like big.
So you got those little humps and everything like that, but this is one of those poles that comes extending up, Yeah, because like I was skimming through like her little post-it notes and everything like that, and just, I mean, she got pretty darn far and everything like that. So I mean, hopefully I can do a good job of it and give you guys the scare that you deserve.
I don't know how to take that, but all right.
Oh, yeah.
Let's scare you.
I'm going to make it extra gory. I'm going to make it very scared. I'm going to put the fear into you guys. I'm going to try. Uh-huh.
We'll dim the lights. We'll light some candles.
Oh, don't tempt me, bud.
I'll turn on the smoke machine.
The fog machine in the corner.
It's not a fog machine.
I'm going to come in a cultist uniform here.
So I thought it would be really cool to have a fog machine. And so I told my dad for Christmas to get me, and I sent him a link to this thing that said it's a fog machine. And even this stuff that was called like fog juice. He got all this to me, and I thought it'd be really cool to put it in my office. And have all this fog like creeping out of my office out into the general area, right? So I actually took it to work, and I turned the thing on. Turns out it's not a fog machine. It's a smoke machine. And there is a distinct difference. A huge difference.
No kidding.
No shit. My office filled from floor to ceiling with smoke, and just started come billowing out of my office door out into the general area. I had to shut it down, pull the plug, and close my door so I didn't trip off any fire alarms. As the smoke was going down the hallway, I could hear people like, "Is there a fire? What's going on?" I caused pandemonium at work with this thing. I want you to imagine that you go to a Motley Crue concert in a small bar-like venue, but with all the same level of arena-like smoke and fire, and put it in this room. You will not be able to see the dice that you're rolling.
That bad, huh?
It is. It will fill this. It'll fill this whole entire house. You will not be able to find your way to the door. It's crazy.
Nice. Guess you should have read the description.
I read fog machine. That's what I read. And it was a lie.
I got dripped.
Lied to.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do with those campaigns. Because we're pretty darn close to finishing another one.
Finishing Rime of the Frostmaiden.
Yep.
How many sessions do you think?
Depending, it should be about maybe 3, at the most 4. But
try to make it 4.
Try and make it 4? Yeah. I can do that. That's no problem. Because, actually, yeah, might even be 4 to 5, because I just realized that there's
now you're talking
another part that you guys have to go through to get to the other part and everything like that. And then, of course, there's all this role-playing that you guys get to do beforehand.
Yay, role-playing. I think I can scale Tomb of Annihilation down to 4 or 5.
That much, huh?
Potentially, I could run this forever.
Well, there's fucking 20. There are 25 now.
Yeah.
Phylacteries.
Yeah, across the multiverse. Yes.
With the way that we're going, yes. I'm amazed we even got 1.
Right.
25. And you're saying 4 to 5 sessions?
I said I can scale it down to 4 or 5. I think I can scale it down.
Why would you want to do that?
Well, because I was hoping to get it done in conjunction with you so that we could both run the Candlekeep campaign.
Right.
Now, if you guys want me to, if you want to run Candlekeep and have me run after the Tome of Annihilation indefinitely, that's totally up to you guys. But you need to let me know.
Let's just play it by ear. We still have two other associates to try and run that by and everything like that, see what they want to do. Because I don't know how far Rome has gone in with his planning, and then I imagine Hegan probably won't have too much of an opinion.
No, he's going to probably agree to whatever his dad wants to do. Pretty much.
So, we should be good.
Yeah, we're fine. It's not a complaint or anything.
Yeah.
All right. I think that covers all the campaign information that we have currently in the hopper in the future and possibly long term.
No way. Serious?
Serious.
No way.
All right. Well, this is Nick and Patrick signing off.
Hooah!